Yeah, hello and welcome to the I would nearly call it emergency live stream here. I didn't intend to do this, but since we're currently seeing some warning signs in the charts, I thought it might very well be useful. I hope you can hear me. It should be. Um, yeah, I mean, we currently see quite a bit of red today. I did expect some more action in the last few days with Jerome Powell and so on in his talking about the monetary policy. However, it seems to be delayed a little bit and happens now, but it comes down quite strongly. So I start to see some, yeah, I don't want to say warning signs on the chart, but well, yeah, maybe maybe it is what it is, warning signs. So we want to talk about these, and we need to be quick to adapt to changes in charts, right? So I'm changing my perspective probably now, at least increasingly towards that we are doing here directly the wave 2, or at least that we're directly testing this wave 2 support area for Bitcoin Ethereum. As you know, for Bitcoin, the probabilities are still very high that we are continuing with the bear market eventually. A lot of people have called out the end of the bear market already on the way up. I've always reminded you, also in the daily updates on Telegram and Discord, that until we see here the ABC structure or the 5-wave move complete, and then the confirmation that the wave 2 support area is holding, we cannot say that the bear market is over, okay? And we cannot expect it. So we still need to be ready for lower lows. That's why I talked about my strategy so often now in the last few days and weeks, that I'm holding a lot of cash still aside. I was very careful with buying in. If I bought anything in the last few days, only small spot positions scaling in, but nothing that would put really my portfolio at massive risk or anything. So I'm still waiting for those lower prices, and I've just bought my first HODL Bitcoin and Ethereum positions here in this range. As I said, more than a week ago or a couple of weeks ago, when we hit this green area, I will start to buy for the long term, which doesn't mean I go all in, I still leave a lot aside for those lower prices if they happen. It's all about that strategy, so that really the only situation in which I'm losing with this strategy is if Bitcoin goes to zero. So I just always need to say that, because just read a comment on YouTube, someone who said I'm too bullish, but by all means, every couple of days I show you this scenario and highlight that this is still very valid. Yeah, that this was just a wave 4. Not many people talk about this, and in fact, I haven't seen anyone talk about this scenario. And that if this support area is not holding, that we are going to continue with a bear market, and that this is still the primary expectation on the chart, which is why the alternative end of the bear market is only the alternative, really. Yeah, so be aware of that. However, I've also explained very clearly why I'm not positioned on the short side with Bitcoin, and it's just important. We can only trade what's in front of us, and there are some long setups still in front of us because this could hold, and I just need to inform you and remind you of that, because I don't know, some people don't listen to the videos. I don't know. It's just important to understand my thoughts, right? So also, in fact, over the last few weeks, or no, let's say the last week or so, we've talked pretty much in every video about the situation that a low hasn't been made yet for Bitcoin. So we had no signs, okay? So it is selling off, I want to say, as expected. However, what is unusual, well, not unusual, but it doesn't fit into the scenarios we discussed, is that it sells off so quickly. So there are some warning signs I see. Okay, so just need to talk about them. Ethereum, for example, is about to break here this yellow support area. It can still hold here the 1410 level, yeah, roughly 1400. Now, if it drops below that, I have to adjust my view and say that we are probably doing the wave 2 here straight away, or at least testing this support area. And with Bitcoin as well. Yeah, I mean, I talked about 20K. If we drop and sustain below 20K, then I can't really talk about these other scenarios anymore that we talked about. Then we're going directly into the wave 2 support area. And then always said, when we go below 20K for Bitcoin, then we are only left with the question, are we going to hold the wave 2 support area, or are we going to continue with the bear market, which is still, let's say officially, the primary expectation. Why is that? Because the trend change to the upside has never been confirmed. As you know, if you've watched my videos, it is only confirmed if we get 5 waves up. Okay, we've got 5 up, which is great. And we need 3 waves down into this support area, and it needs to hold. That's the second level of confirmation. And until we have that, we can't confirm a trend change. That's just important to understand for background. And yeah, so far it was important, or it was the right decision not to call the end of the bear market here. And again, it's always funny that a lot of people get bullish on the way up and they get bearish on the way down, which is okay. Just be aware of the different scenarios. We just need to adjust and try to keep an objective viewpoint here. Now, long intro. I didn't actually want to do this live stream because I had other plans. Either way, thanks everybody for coming. Hit the like button, please. And yes, by all means, I will try to look at your questions. But please be aware that because things are still very much in movement. Okay, so it's always, it's always the paradox, right? When it's going sideways, everybody's like bored. When it's going very quickly, as it does in the crypto market, everybody's like panicking, and yeah. And then it happens, and we go quickly, and it happens so fast that you actually need to wait until the market moves sideways again to make a call, because we need to see where it's stopping now, right? We need to see that. But yeah, Bitcoin is currently still holding 20K. Oh, just something to drink here. So yeah, I haven't covered any altcoins yet. Just wanted to highlight to you that I've basically changing the view here. For Bitcoin, I'm going to take this yellow support area out now because it was broken, so it's irrelevant. So it will just clog the chart. I'm adjusting my view. I have already made you aware as channel members that this is now probably the most likely count. Yeah. That we are heading down here off those highs in an ABC structure. So this is, in this scenario, that this is a wave 2, the most likely count. I have to expect now that we are going directly here in this wave 2. But before we really finish this wave 2, we need to finish, as it seems like, a 4th and a 5th wave. The way we are coming down here is typically confirming that this is a wave 3, or at least it makes it very likely. So looks like we still need that 4th and 5th I've talked about in previous videos, and that's fine. The only thing is that the 3rd wave is a bit longer than it ideally should have been. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, okay, we have to change our view here, that we probably go down a bit deeper directly in this wave 2 without seeing an initial bounce, yeah, before coming into this area. So we get there anyway. It's just that it's faster than in the previous scenarios we discussed. And the same view we can start to have for ETH, because also here it looks like we should still get a 4th and a 5th. Now we haven't really broken this support area, but we might do. Doesn't look like it's finished yet, and we've broken below the trend channel as well, or at least we're trying to. So it's a bit too early to talk about that or to confirm all that, because things are very much shifting very quickly. Seems like the S&P is coming down a bit as well. So we just need to be a bit flexible here at the moment while things are moving. Now, the interesting thing is now that basically puts a lot of the altcoins and Bitcoin in line, right? Because what we can say now is that, okay, Bitcoin is in its wave 2 support area. Funny enough, a lot of altcoins as well. Now, what is interesting now is that a lot of altcoins have already entered that area a while ago. But for example, which altcoin is in there? So for example, if we look at ADA, yeah? ADA, for example, is still in the area and has a lot of space. I think we talked in the previous video here about the 30-cent level as one of the possible targets. ADA did react to it. So it's basically 50% in its support area. But so far we haven't confirmed any trend reversal, so further downside shouldn't have surprised anyone. But yeah, I admit it was quite fast, right? So nevertheless, it hasn't invalidated anything. It's only halfway into its support area. But yeah, it broke below the 61.8 retracement, at least for a short period. But yeah, no change in count or expectations here for ADA. Bitcoin, yes, I'm still looking for a possible fourth and a fifth, but it's now probably the wave 2 support area we talk about. But either way, no change so far. For Bitcoin, it's just that the third wave came down a little bit lower. Okay, but for now, we cannot confirm a trend reversal to the upside yet. What we now need to be watching for Bitcoin, of course, is that it needs to hold the 17,567 level for a confirmation that the bull run has started. Until then, the primary has to be that the trend is still down, okay, and that we will come down lower. But again, I say that so often, and many people understand it, many people don't, because it's kind of a concept that it's not so straightforward to understand. But I don't like the idea of primary scenario and alternative. It's all about the overall strategy. You don't trade the primary count. If I was trading the primary count, I'd be short all the time because I expect another low. But that doesn't make sense. We've got 2-3 possibilities and scenarios, so we need to think about what's the most probable outcome in every given moment, and how do I position myself to benefit from all these scenarios. So it's the strategy behind it. Yeah. So it's a bit more complex than the chart is just going up or down. But yeah, this is now extremely interesting because Bitcoin is sort of fighting here with a 50% retracement. Will be interesting to see if we hold it. This is a very important fib level, a very important support level. Okay, someone's just posting altcoins get wrecked. KuCoin withdrawal is not working. That'd be interesting. But I did say it. So I did say it many times this week that if we really are in a wave 2, guys, be prepared for a lot of bad news. And the worst news always come just before we bottom. So I think we had some pretty bad news this week. So yeah, this is an absolutely valid setup still, but we now here, at least as per my interpretation, we still have a fourth and a fifth wave to do for Bitcoin and Ethereum ideally as well. Yeah, that this, of course, we can get some kind of a V-shaped recovery. And that might even be the fourth wave, but I'm still looking at this possible fourth and fifth wave before we find a low here. Okay, so let me look at some of your questions. Yeah, link. So I'm just gonna go, I'm just gonna go through the chat and try to. Probably won't be able to cover all questions because we've got a lot of people here in the chat, but. Okay, yeah, Link has not violated the support area yet, but it's come down quite deeply. Yeah, it has. What kind of fib level is that actually? Oops. What level was that? I don't know what that. It's the larger fibs. It's the larger fibs. Okay, yeah, it's come down to 614 now. I would be. It's obviously this move down. This makes it obviously more likely now, or at least it increases probabilities that this will break straight away. It's not great. It's another warning sign coming up here, but it's not. We haven't broken it. If it turns around here, that's fine, but we start to see those warnings. I did post it earlier on Telegram and Discord. Not that. Did post it earlier on Telegram and Discord that. We start to see some of these support areas not hold, and that's a first warning. For example, here Aave. Aave lost support, and it comes down too deep for a fourth wave. There is a first warning. Yeah, and you need to see these and then be able to understand them and possibly adjust. So at the moment, I'm not aware of other coins that have sort of. But yeah, Doge, for example, I saw Doge earlier today. Doge lost its support area as well. So the weaker coins are starting to lose their support areas here. Doge as well, yeah. And it's about to make here possibly even a new low. It's too early for that, but I mean, for Doge, another low is still the primary, as you might know from my videos. That the support area didn't hold in orange is not too much of a surprise. Orange means higher risk anyway. But yeah, the fact that, or the idea that we've bottomed here for Doge was only the alternative as well. So we're currently just following at the moment the primary count, but there was a chance to turn around here. I would have said it probably would have worked out had Bitcoin not dropped massively today, in line with, to be honest, the stock market as well, right? Oh, thank you very much, Steven. Thank you very much. Yeah, Q&T and Solana for you, Steven. Let's do Sol first. I think Solana is one of the coins that is also like ADA, only sort of halfway in support, but it is in need for a bounce. It's in desperate need for a bounce from here because it's come down in the third wave, and that's all fine. Yeah, third wave is normally quite impulsive, especially if it's a C wave in a third. What concerns me a little bit is that it broke below the 50% FIB level. Now, it's not necessarily a problem, because if we only get one more 4 and 5, it probably will find some support somewhere maybe around $15 or $12. But yeah, you know, these altcoins, they come down quite a bit now. And as at the moment, I'd say no reason to panic, no reason to change the scenario here for Solana. We're sort of 50% in, and there's still, I mean, it could still, and while remaining in this scenario, Solana could still drop 27%. So it is quite a bit, but it's always that 78.6 FIB level which needs to hold for this scenario to work out. The move up was quite impulsive. The move down looks corrective. So in all likelihood, it should ideally hold, or at least we should see a reaction. But yeah, where we have some warnings obviously at the moment. Now, I don't want to sound too bearish either, because at the moment, Bitcoin hasn't dropped below 20K, and Ethereum is still holding the 1400 level. So from that point of view, we've reached targets. We haven't called a bottom yet. So from that point of view, it should all be okay. It's just that there is a risk that these scenarios fail. Yeah, we just need to be aware of that. Just need to be watching that. For at the moment, it's a bit too early. We need to see how ETH and BTC are now reacting to these support areas. Ideally, we do see quite a strong bounce because it was quite an impulsive sell-off. Always reminds me here of the, okay, it wasn't that bad, but of the 8th of November, when we have days like these. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, like we've had some, what did Bitcoin do? Ethereum here, 5-6%. That's not even anything unusual for the crypto market, right? So there's actually no reason to panic too much, but yeah, it's a pretty red day today. But yeah, Solana, I mean, it seems to be, well, it's fighting with a 50% retracement. Next target would be 15, 17, but I would get a bit, I don't want to say, you know, I would see it as a warning if the third wave of this C wave to the downside here, it goes all the way to the 61.8 FIB. I mean, things are getting a bit red now, so we need to just be a bit careful. But it's only halfway into support, so there's no reason at the moment to change the scenario. I'm just thinking. Yeah, I'm just thinking how a bearish view would look like. I mean, for me, if we say, you know, what would happen, what would be the count if this support area actually isn't holding? It's a good question. I would need to really think about it because the move up is quite impulsive. You know, even in a more bearish view, at least I would have liked to see, or I would like to see. So in a scenario where Solana will make a new low, which is of course possible, yeah, somewhere down there, I would have at least liked to see this A wave to the upside, B wave to the downside, and then a C wave to the upside. So basically short-term bullish, but it could still be bearish eventually. But at least some kind of reaction here would be great. Now, at the moment, we don't see any of that buying power come in, but this can change instantly from one day to another in crypto, right? Okay, V Nexo, thank you very much, by the way, as well. I think I missed that. But yeah, you wanted to have a look at AVAX. So, Stephen, hopefully that helped. Yeah, AVAX, this is now getting tough as well. Again, it's still in the support area, but we are getting closer and closer to that 12.99 level, and it's coming down in a straight line, unfortunately. So let me just have a look here. I mean, probably it makes sense to relabel this. This looked like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be a long 5 in an ending diagonal. That's okay. It would just be that the fifth wave is the longest, which can happen, especially in altcoins. It could become in this fifth wave like an expanding diagonal. They are rare though. It's possible, but we don't really have a very well defined trend line here. But that's possible. They hits the support level here somewhere in that lower side of the box and then turns around from there. That's certainly possible around maybe 1370. Yeah, turning around here. Could also change the count slightly, maybe. Just thinking how. So we could move, and that might make more sense because it would be more in line with Bitcoin, Ethereum. But it doesn't. It wouldn't change much. It would just, I think, realign the count here. Where we say, okay, probably if this entire C wave is an ending diagonal, we had the wave 1 here in an ABC. That might have been the 2. Then here, possibly here the 3rd. Or even, again, in line with Bitcoin. This might be the 3rd. And that would be in line with Solana as well. Then a 4th and a 5th. But it would put it very, very close to key support. Yeah. And be ready that below 12.99, this entire setup may actually fail. It's just, it's a warning, and we need to talk about that, right? But for now, it can still drop. Oh, come on. So, like 8 to 9%. Now, this 1-2 setup will not be invalidated below 12.99. It can still work out. It's just if we use the fibs to calculate this stuff, then 1 second. Then obviously, you can still see them hit the 88.7 fib, but it just will get way, way less likely below the 78.6. So I normally don't show the 88.7 because it's typically like, when we break below the 78.6, it will get tough. It will get tough, and likelihood will then suggest that actually the bears are in control, and this move down, which currently looks like a nice 3-wave structure, may turn into a 5-wave move, which means it would be a corrective move to the upside that we would have to find a way to count it, which probably is possible with this overshooting B wave, but not ideal. And then this move down would turn into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what would be the 1.618 extension? Because if the move down is indeed the 3rd wave, yeah, we would need to see it. If it comes down and hits 1230, I'd be on the side of caution, because if it breaks below 1299 eventually, 1230 might be next support. It could bounce from there then, but it's a bit too early now to it's speculation, right? It's speculation. But for now, the trend is clearly down. 1299 is the last key support for the bulls. Below that, this will most likely break. Oops. Okay. Oh, near is something JJ I haven't looked at for a long time, I think. Oh, actually, I think I have. Yep, near as well in a possible B wave support area or wave 2 alternatively. Yeah, but near is a chart I don't trust long term. I did highlight that before. I've got concerns about the near chart long term. because the move up is in a clear three-wave structure. Yeah, this move that started in 2020 looks like an ABC structure, so it could very well be bearish. I've always highlighted that. So with NIR, I'd be very careful to be positioned on the long side. Okay, just because an ABC structure is always unreliable. Eventually, this could lead to a situation. I'm just gonna hit the log chart because you see it a little bit better. If we topped in three waves, ABC, the move to the downside could be a 5-wave move. And you could say eventually, okay, off this high in 22, might very well be, that all of this move down in this bear market was a wave 1. We're going to rally in an ABC in a wave 2. And eventually it will sort of go lower and lower. But that's not how it needs to be. These coins which topped in three waves can be bullish as well. But you don't know. If you don't have a proper chart with a proper impulse in the beginning, yeah, maybe where they topped end of 2021 or beginning of 2022. If this is a three-wave structure, it's always risky. It's a more risky chart because it makes it, at best, a questionable and unreliable chart. At worst, a really bearish chart. ABC could mean the trend is down. ABC could also mean it is part of a diagonal structure, for example, yeah. Or it could mean that this is a larger A wave, then here coming down in a B wave, and it will make a new all-time high in a C wave. But what happens after that? It could still break down. So it just, a message. Hello, can you hear me? Probably not yet. Hello. Oh, I'm back. Sorry, guys. I think, okay, good. Yeah, I think the crypto police disconnected my chart or whatever. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened here. A lot of people left already. I see that. But crazy. Yeah, my internet, whatever. I don't know. I need, sorry, a bit confused now. Right, I was talking about NIR actually. I don't know what you heard, what you didn't hear. Probably I just quickly repeat what I said. I need that Starlink. I wanted to get Starlink. I think our British telecom here is not very reliable, guys. So either way, long term, NIR topped in three waves, so it's a less reliable chart. On the short side, or in the short term here, 5 waves up. Yeah, not the best structure, but a possible 5-wave up. And now coming down in a possible 3-wave structure. We talked about this support area as well. Here, very easily or very simply, it needs to hold 155 to get us a third wave to the upside into the 355 region. But the question is now, obviously, we're coming down very strongly. The problem is, and that's sort of the risk I see here just now, is what I'd like to see is normally when we come into these support areas that at some point, especially if we get into the lower half, that they start to slow down. Yeah. But the advantage of the current move is, obviously it's not slowing down, it's just increasing negative momentum, and that's sort of a bit of a warning. What the advantage is, guys, these prices, again, they are great for long term. We've dropped like 40-50% of those highs now. Yeah. Here for NIR specifically, it's 36%. And it might give me a possibility to buy back into the AI coins. I mean, I intentionally waited because I wasn't happy with the prices that the AI coins gave me in the last few days. Now that we are coming down quite a bit, I might buy back or buy in, right? Here, for example, FET is finally in its support area, target area, so I might buy a little FET. I don't know yet. Things are happening so quickly. Guys, where's the chat gone? A second. I need to... So NIR protocol, hopefully that helped, JJ. VNexo, thank you very much. Joel, thank you very much. Cat Lawler, thank you very much for the donation. I don't know if you wanted a TA. It says message retracted. Please post it again or put in the chat what coin you wanted. Hope I will pick it up. But it says message retracted. Yeah, let's take a look at Q&T. Some people asked for Q&T. And honestly, I'm randomly looking here at the I'm randomly looking at what you know. I can't cover everything because things are moving quickly, and hopefully my internet connection stays stable now. So yeah, here QNT as well didn't hold support and seems to me that it's heading into the larger support area, and it might test. First of all, it will probably come down to $100. I mean, it broke below the 78.6 fib. I'm going to deactivate that support area now because we also broke out of the channel to the downside. This could theoretically still be a 1-2-1-2 setup. It's getting unlikely now. It really does. So I'm going to take that out, the blue count. This is not holding. Yeah, for various reasons. We dropped out of the trend channel to the downside and didn't hold support. So next support will be at $100 now. Yeah, I mean, you can always turn around earlier, but at the moment there is no indication it does. Wouldn't be surprised if it does test the $100 level. Looks also like, and that comes together now. That actually comes together now, together with Bitcoin, where we say, okay, Bitcoin might just be doing now a third wave, then a fourth, and eventually a fifth, and that might send QNT in this larger support. Okay, where we would then have to say, okay, wave 2 probably ended here. Alternatively, and that's still possible, wave 2 ended back in November, but for now, the way we're coming, and the break of the 78.6 fib level is always a warning. Yeah. So yeah, these levels, and that's what TA helps us to understand when we need to change our thinking, when things are getting a little bit challenging, and to understand those fib levels, what's going on at the moment, when do we need to change perspective. And until yesterday, we looked at a 1-2-1-2 setup here, but it didn't hold support, and there are a few coins which are currently losing support, and I see them as first warning signs. But then again, with QNT, actually, it's not a warning sign. It's just coming together now with Bitcoin, where I see Bitcoin possibly coming down in this structure, doing a third, doing a fourth, and a fifth, and QNT would now follow quite nicely, actually. Okay, Andreas, thank you very much. Because someone said KuCoin withdrawals don't work. Apparently they do work. It's good. Someone said it just disappeared. Yes, I'm German, Lindner. But we also have a German channel, so originally at least. I don't live in Germany though. So yeah, let's look at DOT maybe. See, I just randomly... But eventually it's all about how does the market now react to these support levels. And oh dear, I really don't know what's going on with my internet. It's not even loading the chart. I might, guys, I don't know if you can still hear me. I will switch to another connection. 1 second. I might do that just now. Give me a second, because it's just not doing what it should be doing here. So I'm just gonna quickly connect to another connection here. Hopefully that will be better, because I don't know what's going on with our internet. I need that Starlink, especially on days like these. So okay, yeah, no, it's just, let me just change. So I might be gone for 10 seconds while it's connecting to the other thingy. Yeah, so 1 second. Don't leave now. I don't know. Hopefully it is. So I'm reconnected. Hello. So hopefully that works now. Connected just to the other hotspot. So hopefully it's a bit better. I don't know. Ideally it is. Don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi today. So Charmaine. So 1 second. Oh, Kaspars, welcome to the gold membership. No, I don't live in Lindner. I don't live in Dubai. I live in the UK, at least at the moment. And the German channel is called More Crypto Online, DE for Germany. So check that out. No, I don't live in Dubai. Maybe one day. Is anybody here from Dubai, by the way? But no, we've got 2 dogs. It's not easy to bring 2 dogs to Dubai. I'm not sure if they are very happy about the heat. So I don't really want to do that. Okay, so Edgix. Edgix, yeah, why not do Edgix? I wanted to do an Edgix video today, but didn't. You can't do everything. Yeah. I don't know, Ivan. How I trade futures. First of all, I don't trade too much futures, yeah. But then it works. I just log into the exchange. It works. Maybe it shouldn't work, but it just does. So I don't know. Nobody ever told me I couldn't. So yeah. Oh wow, there's someone from Dubai. Okay. Oh, Kaspars. That's absolutely shocking and amazing. Thank you very much. Yeah, we can unpack DI. I've never looked at DYDX, but let's do AGX and then we do DYDX. Well, there's a few people from Dubai. By the way, thanks all for joining. It's really great. That makes me understand it was the right decision to do this stream. Oh, Booba is from Dubai. Yeah, dog friendly. How old am I? I'm too old. I'd like to be younger. No, I'm 34. 34. 34. Someone asked about my background. Yeah, no, I'm actually an engineer. Got my PhD in business administration, economics, and I started trading Elliott Wave 14 years ago, but actually always did it only on the side because I sort of, climbed the corporate ladder, then got pissed off with my 9 to 5. Thought, you need to continue with your passion, which is basically trading, analyzing charts, and now I'm here. Okay, so just in brief. But yeah, let's first look at Edgix. So yeah, I did warn everybody about a possible B wave here to the upside, yeah. And this is, I'm happy this works out because it allows me also to buy Edgix back a bit cheaper. I can't remember where I took profits, but I took some profits along the way. In the membership, we talked weeks ago or months ago actually about the AI coins. Was great. But I took some profits, but I wanted to see it long term. So I took some profits. We'll probably buy back cheaper, maybe later today even, because we're getting into interesting areas again. What I'm a bit unsure about here with Edgix is this actually a 5-wave move up? Can I count the entire move as a 5-wave move? A bit unsure about that. It looks more like a 3-wave structure, so that increases risk. It might actually break down, because ideally this would have been a 5th wave, yeah. I could still see this currently as a 4th wave with an ABC structure, because we haven't really broken below and sustained below the A wave. The thing is, as I said, looking at the fib levels, if this wave 4 goes below the last low, I can't really count it as a 4th wave anymore. The reason is the fib levels. It's just coming down too low, okay? So you don't want a wave 4 that goes below the 50% retracement, and it does. So here we dropped below 35 cents. I can't accept that. So it must be either something very bearish and we're gonna make a new low, or it's a 1-2 setup. Yeah. So we had a 1-2 here, and this is another 1-2 setup. Now I need some time to relabel the charts, but we talk about what would be. It's basically then a similar count to Fetch, even though Fetch I think made a proper 5-wave move up. So here for a wave 2, if we talk about what is the support area it needs to hold for a wave 2, then it actually is now here in this sorry, in this range, and it actually needs to hold here the area between 27.9 and 17.2 cents. Now what will help us to understand is that below 17.2 cents likelihood increases massively that Edgix is going to go back to, let's say, pre-January levels, sort of 3-4 cents. So that's a warning. I probably will buy a small spot position in here. Now I want to see first probably a reversal, not just trying, because this is only a 3-wave move up at best, or a 1-2 1-2, which is never great. So yeah, sorry, I can't really go into too much detail in these live streams here because there's so many requests, but I wanted to take a look at DYDX. But I think is it one? Did I ever look at it? Let's take a look. By the way, someone asked me today about IMX, which is a lifetime downtrend chart. So I did, just in case someone wants to know. It's not a great chart. The DYDX. Just always trying to use the USD chart. I'm sure I looked at it before. I would just look at the second screen if I had it saved somewhere. So give me a second. I think I did look at it before. No, I can't really find it. But anyway, let's look at it. It is, first of all, what you can clearly see here with DYDX, because I had a few questions of other people before about DYDX, but I now remember I looked at it. I just can't find the chart now. But it is a bearish structure. At least we don't see anything that would clearly tell us this sort of lifetime downtrend is over, because it has failed to rally in anything that's impulsive. Okay, so to make a very clear assessment of this, my view here would be that, and I would just need to, let's say that we probably had a 1-2 setup up here, then a third. This might be a fourth, and we might come down another fifth. At least the risk is certainly there. So it's not a great chart. Any chart that is sort of in these lifetime downtrends, it's never good. And in this fourth wave, it's a bit like the Bitcoin structure. You could say that, and that's in my opinion the most likely scenario here, especially with a lifetime downtrend chart. You could say easily that this here was an A wave. We came down in a B wave, because this is a clear 3-wave structure. And yeah, we might be rallying now in a C wave. Maybe that's even over. So similar to Bitcoin. The problem is, if it's over, we didn't reach the 1.618 extension. You normally want it to reach that. But ABC, yeah, and this could be over though. And at least in the C wave, yeah, if the C wave doesn't reach the 1.618, that's fine. But if it was something more bullish, like a wave 1, a wave 2, and this would be the wave 3, you wouldn't want to see stronger price action, yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is one of these charts where I say, okay, this top here could really have been a fourth wave, like it could have been for Bitcoin as well. And then you could say it is quite, at least not unlikely, that this is now coming down like this. 1, 2, and this could be a 3, 4, 5, eventually leading to one more lower low in whatever structure it is. And that's a valid view, and I think a very likely view here, as long as we stay below that wave 2 high, which was at 330. Now I can also go to the linear chart, but it will give you a very similar view. Just the fib targets might be a bit different, but also here, yeah, A wave, B wave, C wave to the upside, and then here it is though that 330 level really, and the way we are selling off is also quite impulsive. Yeah, I mean, even if I wanted to understand it in a bullish way, I mean, how would I do that? It would be seriously difficult. I mean, I could say, I mean, where would I put the fifth? I mean, if I say, okay, maybe we bottomed already, maybe the bear market low is in, then I could say, okay, the fourth wave here. But where do I put the fifth? That it's missing, yeah. It would need to be a so-called truncated wave, but it's very maybe here, but then you have only 3 waves in 5. Yeah, honestly, a very, in my opinion, rather bearish chart. Now, my perspective could change if we say we break back above 330, but until then, due to the context of the chart, the lifetime downtrend, and the structure here, which was only corrective, if you look at it, yeah, the entire structure since June, ABC, yeah, and it looks very choppy, very corrective. So that would be my view. Yeah, it could still avoid a breakdown to the downside, but then it needs to hold. So I mean, you can always say, you can always argue if the bulls step in, it can always turn around. But the likelihood that the bulls are still stepping in and turning it around will reduce massively below 158.8. So below 158, if we drop below that level, then it gets even more likely to make another low below the June lows. So hopefully that gives you a very good view. Let me know by email if you have another question about DYDX. So F1 Clips Esports just says, just in New York says Ethereum is actually in KuCoin, is a security in KuCoin lawsuit. Okay, I didn't quite understand that, but if some bearish news came out, again, those news often come out towards the end of a wave 2. From that point of view, it actually adds up to what I said before, that in these wave 2s, you often get a lot of bearish news. Else Pond, great, thank you very much. Just subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and yeah, if you say it's the first time live with us, then there'll be more. VeChain. Yeah, and guys, I don't mind hanging around a little bit. I mean, it's 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. in the UK, but I have no other plans, so we can hang around. But I might need to get a coffee in between or something. Oh, yeah, that's not great. I have to say, when we see these warning signs, it's and I don't want to create panic here. It's just like 9% down, the 2 cent level. We talked about the should we drop below 2.188 cents, yeah, that we most likely will get to the lower boundary of the trend channel. But if that fails, obviously it doesn't really have bullish implications. It's actually rather bearish. Then we had one Fibonacci support at 1.96. Now we reached 1.99. Below that, there is not much more space left. Now, if you compare, for example, ADA or Solana with VeChain, you can see here we don't have a lot of space left in this support area. So that is a bit concerning. It indeed is, yeah. It should not drop below 1.9 cents. Now, if it does, it can still hold the 88.7 fib level, but that's really the last stop on the motorway. Normally, or the last exit for the bulls. The thing is, the 88.7 fib is normally a deeper than ideal retracement. You don't normally want to see that in a wave 2. Well, it can still work out, but most of the time it doesn't. Now I'm starting to think for some of these coins, we might need to use it as support. But that would be 1.73 cents. The problem is we are then already very close to invalidation anyway. I think the best strategy here at the moment is if you buy in and scale in, just spot until you have a trend reversal confirmed. I mean, these are great long-term prices again. But of course, if we continue with a bear market, we might actually go below 1.5 cents again, which wouldn't be great, but it's certainly a possibility for the altcoins. But I think the strategy needs to be, we are focused on the downside. We have been focused on the downside here because we haven't seen any trend reversal signal yet. So be very careful with any positions until we have a reversal, especially now. As I always say, up here, position size needs to be smaller. Can, of course, go larger as we go down. But I also need to remind you that it's coming down a bit faster, then it would be ideal, because I would like to see normally a slowing down of the downtrend as we head lower into these boxes, and not an increase in the speed, yeah, and the momentum, because I mean, let's be honest, this is coming down quite strongly. Just having a look at Bitcoin, 20.2k. Yeah, I mean, it's not getting away from the 20k level really to the upside, is it? And it's actually now hovering below the 50% retracement. So have a few warning signs here on the charts. No, I haven't covered Gala. A few people asked about Gala, so yeah, let's check that out. Okay, so Gala has basically broken here the 61.8 fib. I mean, also here, I think in the last video we said it failed to rally obviously in 3 waves. It failed to rally in 5, so it made only 3. Came down. I think in the last video we said, yeah, it's still likely to go lower. At some point we expect a 4th wave. The 4th certainly didn't happen yet. So the trend is still down, because we still need a 4th and a 5th. Also here now, I mean, we're heading closer towards this the 3 cent level that I talked about in the previous videos. We need to watch that level. Below that level, we've got the trend line of the channel, and there isn't much left below that. Yeah, and 2.57 cents is a level. If we drop below that, then this setup will also be at risk. But the thing is, the move up looks very impulsive, and the move down still looks corrective. You can see that just how fast it moved up, and how, let's say, slowly it's moving down. So it looks corrective on the way down. But again, nothing helps. You know, we need to hold the 2.57 cent level. That's what it's about. Below that level, it can still work below that level. It's just that things are getting tough and risky, and setups typically get less reliable below that level. From traditional support resistance, I mean, you could say, okay, if we go a bit lower, we've got the previous wave 2 low. We might find some support there at 2.3 cents. But is it still reliable? Probably not that much, right? But yeah, I mean, again, here, similar to ADA, we're maybe like 60% into this support area. So at the moment, we're not doing anything that would not be part of this scenario, where we could reverse here and move to the upside. But it needs to happen above 2.57 cents. So Joe C. Chili's. Yeah, this could be that it... What's going on with Chili's? Is it another one that gives us a warning here? Oh, yeah. Yep, Chili's is likely going to make a new low. Yeah, would be surprised if it doesn't. But Chili's is one that sometimes likes to drop below the 78.6 fib. Therefore, I did already add the 88.7. Now it failed to hold that as well. So with Chili's, the view has to be that more likely than not, we're going to make a new low now. That the move up indeed must have been corrective. I would need to really look into this in detail. But the move down then is most likely going to make a new low below the December lows. Let me just double check. And this might be a really good example for why this 78.6 fib level is so important. You might remember it from back then when we looked at this also as a possible wave 1 to the upside. And then the move down here that happened after November as a wave 2. In the end, it did hold. It wasn't invalidated, but also here it dropped below the 12.5 cent level, the 78.6 fib level. It dropped below that, which makes, again, here's a great example how if it drops below the 78.6 fib, how this scenario gets much less reliable. It dropped back then below that critical level. Okay, it did recover, but now it's failing again. So it might very well fail the entire setup eventually, to create here a huge head and shoulders. So yeah. And then a critical level here is the 8 cent level. I mean, if it goes below that, I would probably get rid of analyzing chilies entirely. It is what it is, because this is a critical level. Well, I probably won't get rid of it, but then literally there is not much support left then. So ideally it does hold the 8.1 cent level. That's certainly the next. I mean, the next key support, if you're asking just for key support, you're looking here at 9.6 cents. Certainly that previous low from December, and below that it is that 8 cent level. That really seriously needs to hold. That really needs to hold. Thank you very much, Alucard. GMX Charmaine. I've got a bad feeling I might need to revise the count for that as well. It's just not holding support probably. Or is it? Oh, no. Yeah, we start to see warnings on the charts, guys. I think these early warnings give us a good hint that a lot of coins might not hold their supports. But what would this be? I mean, it dropped below the 78.6 fib. Cannot really justify that this is still a wave 2. So all I can, if I look at this just quickly, and I would really need to look into the detailed wave count. So okay, it dropped below that. Where did I measure that from actually? Okay. This is probably not going to hold either. I mean, best I could tell here, maybe all of this is just a larger diagonal structure, because we have the wave 1 as an ABC. So the wave 3 could be an ABC. We're coming down the B wave at the moment, but also here, it should not drop below $38. So it's probably gonna, I've got a feeling it might retest this area down here, this larger support area. There is a lot of support there. So if we add the VRVP, and I will need to revise need to look at the wave count again. But there is a very strong support around the $40 level here. Yeah, $41, $40. Would be surprised not to retest it. I mean, we already came down to 50. Okay, we recovered. Did recover quite a bit actually. I didn't see that. Okay. Wow, that was brought up quickly. Maybe I was too quick in adjusting the count, because if I just go all the way back, yeah. For now, I would actually like to leave it as it was. Because the reason is it did not, yes, it briefly broke the 78.6 fib, but it didn't sustain. So it actually was bought up very quickly. Now I have to say that very often these wicks get bought up. Yeah, they get bought up very quickly. Now, okay, let's see on the 1 hour chart. It's also a wick. Now, the hour hasn't closed. I would want to see, oh, it has closed. Okay, so it was bought up very quickly. But to be honest, look at this volume. It looks a bit like pump and dump or dump and pump. Looks a bit like, smells a bit like manipulation. Honestly. Now it never sustained below the 78.6 fib. So I would rather say we leave the count as it is. And from here it still would have a chance to put in this third wave, yeah. A, B, C. Let me just, I don't know, did I change something here? Yeah, but from here it can turn around. But something's off with this count. ABC. Anyway, this would be still a valid turning point, but I'd be careful at the moment. Things are changing very quickly, and this smells a bit like manipulation. But I will update that one ideally tomorrow. But this is still valid, the count, that we came down here, and we could still rally in the third wave to 100 plus, as long as we're holding $53 and don't break and sustain below it. You can still get a rally in the third wave. Okay, It's apparently not on any other chart. Yeah, but then again, that's just what I meant. I mean, it's probably it was probably a bit of manipulation or whatever on that exchange, CoinEx. But either way, the count is still valid, and looking at upside from here, as long as 53 holds. Yeah. So here we actually have still a bit of space. It's now at 63. It's in the upper range of the support area. So that's all okay for now. Yeah. So just saw someone wanted to see Matic. I do need to close some of these charts though, because but yeah, obviously, guys, also for everybody who's new here now, it just came in a lot of movements today in the charts, and then it's sometimes just good to let it settle a little bit. I've got the feeling after that much movement, you are going to see, or we are going to see, some sideways consolidation over the weekend. Now that's always a bit boring, isn't it, if we see that? But typically happens when things moved quite quickly, and if things moved too far, too fast, that you start to see those consolidation patterns, and we might see that sort of Bitcoin fourth wave on the weekend, probably. Ethereum fourth wave maybe as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if after today, I mean, I don't know, we need to see how the day finishes, right? The daily candle hasn't finished yet. So, yeah, no problem, Jermaine. So we need to see how the daily... Whoever tried to manipulate now must have got wrecked, yeah. Probably. Oh, what did I want to say? So yeah, depending on how the daily candle is closing, we might see that fourth wave sideways movement on the weekend. Yeah, slight recovery maybe. That will be again a boring Saturday probably. So we might not see too much movement tomorrow. But tomorrow I think some unemployment data is coming out, so it will be interesting. All right, let's some coffee here. Okay. What did I want to do? Did I forget something? H-bar. What was I just about to do something? Medic. Sure, Medic. Yeah. Also here, it's actually due a move to the upside, and if that ideally, yeah, we want to see a move to the upside from here. Did add in the previous video these two overlapping support areas. The point here is that we can get still upside from here with a decent likelihood as long as we're holding above 82 cents. So we've now got the dollar level. It would not be unlikely now to retest 92 cents. That would be the next support if it falls below a dollar. 92, then 87, and then 82 cents. These are the critical support levels. For now, the idea needs to be we are heading further down because we haven't seen any signal that would suggest anything different. But this is the area where we need to be watching if we see a reversal. Yeah, so don't treat these areas as here it needs to reverse. But if we see these are the areas where we need to be watching. So ideally one of these fib levels, and I believe there was some confluence around 92, 93 cents, and then down here at 82 is also quite a lot of support. And if we zoom out and look at the VRVP, here you can actually see this is a huge support cluster area, basically starting at 93, did I say dollars? No, cents. Yeah. Yeah, and this is a huge support area. So that there is really only a insufficiency that's starting below, yeah, you could say below 82 cents. It starts to drop off, yeah. Okay, there's a bit of a spike here at 79, but there's huge support, fib support, and historical volume, guys. So be watching for that area. We're heading now into a critical support area, and I might actually add some Matic because I don't really have much left in my portfolio. I wanted some. I did. Very honest, guys, I didn't buy down here, so I'd actually use this opportunity now to add a little bit. Careful, right? Not aggressive because we haven't really seen any reversal signal. Ahmed asked for how to measure the 78.6 fib. So I can recommend you take a look at our, because I see you're a member. So I can recommend you, I don't know if you watched the previous live streams on Fibonacci's. I can recommend you do that. But the 78.6 fib level, you take your Fibonacci tool up here, Fibonacci retracements. You draw the fibs. Now, okay, you can change the layout and everything. But if I choose the standard settings, then the 78.6 fib is here. So what do you normally do? Now I have to go to a chart that's maybe a little bit clearer. Let's go to Solana. And if we say for Solana, we had a rally. It started here, the low, the beginning of the wave 1. Yeah, that's where you start to draw the fib. You go to the high of the wave 1. And then you get your 78.6 fib level down here, $12. Yeah, that's how you draw it. But always, you can check out our member live stream about Fibonacci retracements and extensions. We made them, I think, the last few weeks. We made these, produced these on Sunday. And it gives you some ideas about the fibs as well. So apparently there's something going on with KuCoin. Okay, crypto exchange KuCoin sued by New York's Attorney General. Really? Why would that be? KuCoin. Let me just check on the second. Yeah, 2 hours ago. But see, guys, yeah, I did all prepare. I hopefully prepared all of you for bearish news this week. I did post it a couple of days ago. If we really are in a wave 2, and it's a wave 2 of a significant degree, Bitcoin as well, Ethereum, yeah, Solana, all these coins in a wave 2. Okay, some might make new lows, whatever. Hopefully they are in the wave 2, and if they are, then we can expect bearish news. Bearish news. So that's another piece of bearish news. The most bearish news come in close to the low of a wave 2. Typically, yeah, they do. Because I do sometimes explain this. It's all related to market sentiment. You don't get bearish news at the top of a wave 1. Yeah, you don't get bearish news in a bull run. You get the bearish news in a wave 2 often, yeah. Now it's not that simple, but okay, what is this? New York Attorney General, Ether is a security in KuCoin lawsuit. I don't know, what's this? See, that's ridiculous. They're suing KuCoin because KuCoin is offering tokens. Oh my goodness. So they can basically sue every exchange that's selling coins. That's ridiculous. So they now claim that Ether is a security. Guys, that might have caused that sell-off. I mean, you know, it's a catalyst, isn't it? Just reading through this. So if they say, okay, Ether is now a security, they claim that. So that is it's just a mess. So according to the lawsuit, they believe ETH, the Luna token, and Terra USD, so UST stablecoin. Why do they now talk about UST? Okay, the price of ETH was down 8% 30 minutes after the suit was revealed. So yeah, it's likely that caused, as a catalyst, a bit of a sell-off. So there you go. That's ridiculous. Sorry. Okay. Now I need to read through that when I've got a minute. But that's crazy. Okay. So yeah, be maybe, I don't know what effects that has. Yeah, I need to get a bit more info on that. By all means, put in the chat what you think about that. But it's a bit, they go hard on it. You know, they go all in. They go all in. Crazy. Yeah, but that most likely caused that strong dip. Now, I don't really want to say it caused that dip, because my view is that because we are in a wave 2, you get these news, yeah? Because this is the bearish sentiment phase. But either way, it's too much to explain. So, H-bar, yeah, someone asked about H-bar. Thank you, George, by the way. And I hope I didn't miss any. Oh, someone welcome Jays to the channel membership. So someone wanted to see H-bar. Vlad also wanted to see H-bar. We did Matic. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so H-bar at the moment not doing anything crazy. As per this wave count, it should also be in a wave 2. The 4.9 cent level is, in my opinion, critical support. We talked about last few days we could be doing a wave 4. Wave 4 probably was finished as a triangle, and we might now be heading down in a 5. But then again, this is getting now close to the 78.6 fib and needs to find some support. It needs a bounce here as well. Oops, H-bar, yeah? So it's now very close to support, and ideally we see a turnaround here at some point. If it breaks below 4.9, yeah, then we also have to say that we probably just rallied in 3 waves and it's going to come down, make a new low. But yeah, I sincerely hope we don't continue with the bear market, because it will just mean, wow, it will just mean another, I don't know, another few months of messy, bearish sideways action. So Mohammed asked, does gold membership include all educational tutorials, if any member? So there is education in the channel membership, yeah. We also offer a trading course on the website, which is a bit more structured, but we make every Sunday we do an educational live stream. It's typically educational, so you can watch that. All of these, there is an educational pathway that you can take when you join the membership. We're just building this, but there is quite a bit there already. So maybe some members can confirm if you like the education or not. Yeah, we're striving to make it better and better. Okay, Andre, thank you very much. Ever USDT. So Ever is not a coin I've ever looked at. Oh, Stuart, that's nice. Thank you very much. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Matt. Greetings to the US. Everscale. See, guys, I have never heard about this one. Oh dear. See, that's a prime example of a chart I don't really trust. You just need to So this, I mean, it made a new high. Or let me actually check if there's another chart with maybe a longer price history. Okay, that doesn't make a difference really. Gate.io. Okay, the point is it's made. So why did it? Okay, it didn't make a new high. I think the longest chart history is Gate.io, isn't it? Yeah, seems like. So yeah, I mean, typical lifetime downtrend. Problem that you have here with this chart, big problem, is that it's, I mean, here this was not an impulse. This looks corrective, which was happening in April 22. Then it came down, to be honest, quite impulsively. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down. You can actually count that, and that's never good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or is that leaves the problem. Is the wave 3 actually the wave 3 shouldn't be the shortest one, so it might actually be. So we need to look at that. It is the shortest. Oh, is it not? Wait, 1 second. Wave 5 might be the shortest in this case. Yeah, okay. No, don't worry. Okay, wave 3 is medium length. Wave 5 is short. That's fine. The problem is we have 5 waves down and you have a 3-wave structure to the upside. This is not a chart that I would consider healthy. Those quick pumps are never reliable. and it's pulled back quite a lot afterwards. So this looks very corrective. Now, how would I count that? Well, you can label that simply here as an ABC. From what I can see now, yeah, ABC, and it might make a new low. So from an Elliott Wave point of view, long term, you could easily say that this is a chart which moved down in 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move up in wave in 3. So what does it become? It becomes a 1-2 setup, actually a great short to the downside. Now, I'm not telling you to short, but it actually is a good short setup in my opinion. But it's moved down quite a well. Obviously you could with a stop loss above the recent high, a short down there would not be turn out right as a 5-wave move down. So that's why I don't like the charts which topped in 3 waves, came down in 5, it's topped again in 3. So unless it now rallies impulsively above 20 cents, this is the view. Okay. Okay, hopefully Andre that helps, but it's not a coin I would personally see any reason to be long in. Now you might have a reason for why you want to be long in that one, or but for me the trend is rather down. It's clearly down, yeah, because we haven't even made a new, so we haven't even broken above that high. But even doing that, even if we break above the previous all-time high, it would not make it a very clear uptrending chart, because initially it started in a very bad way. Okay. Okay, JJ Jacob, CKB. I think this is also a chart that isn't really great. I will need to check. Maybe it is. See, the thing is, the charts that I cover on a daily basis, they are normally decent charts. Most altcoin charts are absolute rubbish. I have to be honest with you. Most are, and often when I get requests, most of these charts, they just are rubbish. And it's like, the reason is, or the justification for this, like 90% of altcoins are rubbish. They are, and most remain below the top 100 or below the top 200, and we're only driven by hype. It is what it is, and there are some good projects. Typically, in my opinion, the ones that we cover. Now there are many more that are good, but yeah, anyway. Okay. I can't remember when I covered it, but I seem to have covered it. I can't remember when, but we obviously had here, yeah, you could argue this was a leading diagonal to the upside. So maybe we did bottom here. The problem is this is a chart also which made a new low, right? So it made a new low. It basically, when it makes, so is there a chart with a longer chart history? Probably not if Gate.io doesn't have it. The thing is, if it makes a new low, and it made a new low in this bear market, then basically it's like you have to treat it like a restart of the chart. So it becomes also a very unreliable one. Yes, you could argue, okay, maybe we rallied here in a wave 1, but then this is a diagonal pattern. Diagonal patterns, because it's so overlapping, are always unreliable. You need to wait and see, does the wave 2 support area hold? It would be different if we had a proper impulse here. It would be different, but only diagonal. So I did already put onto the chart here the area that needs to hold to give us a turnaround, but it's orange, high risk, and it needs to hold 2.7 cents. Otherwise it will also break down. And the problem with these diagonal patterns is they are often corrective, or they can be a correction as well. You don't really see the difference. You only know the difference if it makes a higher low here, and then it needs to hold 2.7 cents for lap. No, it's not 2.7 cents. It's 0.27 cents, isn't it? Yeah. And that's where we are. So it's not great. It's not great. I wouldn't have any trust in it. That's why it's orange, because it's higher risk. Just purely showing here the area that needs to hold. What you need to know with a diagonal like that, if it's really a 1-2 setup, the wave 2 normally comes back to the 78.6 fib. It retraces quite a lot when the wave 1 was a diagonal. Okay. So guys, I think, I don't know. So Litecoin, I'm just trying to see, because I covered a lot of already in this stream. Just trying to go here through the yeah, to be honest, okay, so that's what I showed actually as a possibility in the last video, that we could just, with this wave 5, oh come on, didn't want to move that, so that the risk here is, let me see, just adjusting that a little bit. So yeah, I think there is a chance at least, and also here it's coming down a bit too strong, to be honest now. But the chance is still there that this is a wave 1 to the upside, WXY pattern to the downside in the Y wave, which could then be finished to wave 2. Yeah, we have here wave A B wave, and this could be a C wave. Now the potential was that after these 5, we needed to watch, do we reverse? But I also said after 5, it could be that this is only the first wave of a larger 5-wave move. Yeah. But the problem now is, similar to what we're looking at for Bitcoin, this could also be currently a 3rd wave, then a 4th and a 5th. But then also we come down very close to key support. So yeah, it needs to hold $70 really. Yeah. Below 70, it's gonna get also here unreliable, and the move up looks okay, yeah, but the move down starts to look more impulsive than the move up, which is never really good. Because if you look at, okay, now it's not necessarily too much of a problem, but it needs to hold $70 either way. Yeah, below that level, then the chart will get unreliable. Yeah, it needs to hold $70 for giving us still decent likelihood 3rd wave here to the upside. So yeah, I need to see how we how far it now goes down when things have settled a little bit. I think the markets are still very nervous, especially the situation now with that Ether being a security claim or whatever. It seems to be rather uncertain. So der Staub. Yes, many coins are in a possible buy zone, but be aware that we have currently no signal that the market is reacting to this buy zone in a bullish way, at least not yet. So scaling in is fine, but always be aware that when you do this without a reversal signal, then you're just catching a falling knife. So that's what everybody needs to understand, because there is no guarantee these hold. So as I sometimes highlight in these videos, when you let me open the ADA chart just to explain it, how I normally think about this, and how, in my opinion, this is handled in the least risky way. So you come down in these wave 2 areas. So some people choose to, like pullback traders would buy, yeah. But it doesn't mean you just blindly buy. It means that still, you need to manage your risk, obviously, because even though we've had a very nice pullback and it was worth the wait to buy back these prices lower, it's all about scaling in, yeah. So at the top of the box, position size ideally is a bit smaller than down here. Below the box, ideally, somewhere there's this stop loss sitting, so that even if you buy further away, the risk is fairly small, because yes, the position size is small, but you're far away from the stop loss. Therefore, to still have low risk, you need to have a smaller position size, because the stop loss is very far away. However, scaling into these areas in an active downtrend is not for everybody. You need to take a lot of heat. You need to be able to take a lot of heat also emotionally when you do that. It's not for everybody. So these are the most risky trades. Yeah. Why? Because the trend hasn't shifted yet. It could, of course, this can break. So the trend hasn't shifted. Now, a better, not necessarily better way, but a way that is maybe less risky, but you get not the good prices, is to wait for the first 1-2 setup. Yeah, so if the trend indeed shifts, yeah, you wait for your 5 waves up. It takes discipline as well, yeah. Trading needs discipline. TA is only one element of trading. It's only the tool, but it doesn't give you all the tactics, the strategy and everything. That needs to come from you. A less risky way of entering this trade would be to wait for the first 5 waves up. Then you have a first indication the trend has shifted and the first 3 wave move down. And then you can buy the pullback in the 3rd wave. You know? The way I like to do things is to scale in here with a small position. It's still a small position, yeah, because the trend hasn't shifted. And then when we get the first 5 up, the 3 down, to add to that trade, and then to trade the 3rd wave of the 3rd, and then take some profits here, take some profits here. That's the ideal way of doing it. And then you could even in the 3rd wave, and that's an even lower risk trade because the trend confirmation shift has been, well, the trend has shifted. You could even buy again in this wave too. Yeah, that's the lowest risk entry point, but you don't get the best prices anymore. And that's the balance everybody needs to understand. So it's not recommended to just buy in here. That is it's not for everybody. I mean, I do it, but I'm aware that in the worst case this breaks. So waiting for a reversal is for some people better. So yeah, Yandi, welcome to Gold membership. Okay, H bar we looked at that. I can't unfortunately do everything sort of twice, and we can have another look at Bitcoin, but then at some point I need to close the stream as well. Because you see what's going on with all this stuff about Ether, right? So yeah, here from what I see at the moment, I mean, I'm getting much more open to the idea that we are already directly in the wave 2. That's for Bitcoin and Ethereum, because my view is there's still a 4th and a 5th missing. So the narrative is the same. Yeah, we still need that 4th and the 5th wave, most likely, but the 3rd wave extended a little bit longer than it would be ideal, or it was ideal in the previous scenario. So yeah, we haven't dropped below 20k yet. But let's be honest, if we get a 5th wave from here, a 4th and a 5th, we're most likely going to, and there would be a decent chance to hit the 19.2k area, which is the golden ratio. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. You know, I think we are now in the wave 2. The question is only still, in this wave 2, do we make the wave 2 directly? Do we finish it directly? Or do we have something like, okay, we've got an A wave here. We're going to move up in a B wave and then come down in the C wave, yeah, and have the wave 2. This would still all happen in the support area, because if we drop below 17.5k, it's most likely not going to work out, you know? And this is the same for ETH. So Yelena asked, well, I let my grid bots running as long as they are still in the range, but if they drop below the range, I will probably switch them off. I need to double check the ranges, but yeah, I do leave them running at the moment. It's just like scaling into the support areas. Yeah, it's sort of just doing that with the grid bots. But again, if the ranges fail and if the prices drop even below those levels, then I will switch the bots off. Yeah. And yeah, it's a bit concerning with that. The Ether security news. Okay. So Aptos. Few people asked for Aptos. Yeah, Gala we looked at, didn't we? But I can just quick look at Gala, because a lot of people asked for it. But no change at the moment to Gala. I think 3 cents was one of the targets we talked about in the previous vid. Reached that basically nearly, yeah. But also here, like Bitcoin, I think a 4th and a 5th is missing. Now, if we now get a 4th and a 5th, I think there's a good chance we hold that 2.57 cent level. But yeah, nobody knows if it's going to break. Ideally not. Yeah, we're still in the trend channel. And ideally, we find support before we break below that 78.6 FIB level. Yeah, ideally. So 4th and the 5th, ideally we hold it. Yeah. At the moment, there is no sign that the 3rd is finished. Maybe on the weekend we get that 4th. So it will probably be a long and difficult weekend because we will be watching, what's going on. Are we going to hold that support in the last wave down? Yeah, that's where we are with Gala and Aptos. Someone wanted to see Aptos. Aptos was also like focused on the downside, but if we manage to break out of the corrective channel to the upside, we could maybe argue that the low was already in. The way this looks to me at the moment is that we might we're probably still in the 5th wave because the move down looked quite impulsive again. Either way, this is micro counting. We have not broken below the 61.8 FIB, 969. Ideally, we're holding that level. And to get a confirmation that we are reversing, we need a break above 1172 and above the upper boundary line of that descending trend channel. Okay. I think, guys, now there isn't much more to add, and I to be honest, I need to walk the dogs. I think I need to close the stream. I've already been here 1 hour. How long? I don't know. More than 1 hour. Oh dear. Yeah, I need to walk the dogs. Otherwise, it's gonna get too late for them. And then I'll probably do maybe a few more updates later. Need to get a bit of clarity what's going on with that Ether stuff there and the securities and KuCoin and whatever. And then I hope all the new members who joined this live stream would enjoy it. I hope you liked the stream. Thanks all for joining. Really great. And have a great day. And I will update with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on videos later probably anyway. Just need to walk the dogs quickly. And then my daily sleep routine and wake up routine is completely messed up anyway. I had it back in order and then it all was messed up again. Either way, thank you very much all for joining.